Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority Planning Commission regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, March the 18th, 2026. The meeting is called to order at 6:31 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez,
Present.
Councilmember Tylinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo,
Present.
we have quorum.
Thank you. Let's all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
City Council, thank you for the opportunity of being here this evening with you. As Good Friday, well, actually Palm Sunday will be in a few weeks, and then following would be Good Friday, and Easter as we know it, Resurrection Sunday. So I just want to, before I pray, to be reminded of God's love for us. I want to read a passage out of Matthew chapter 20. In verse 17, it says, "And Jesus was going up to Jerusalem. He took the 12 disciples aside. On the way, he said to them, 'See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and scribes. And they will condemn him to death and deliver him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and flogged and crucified. And he will be raised on the third day.'" This is an awesome passage. The Lord Jesus Christ fully understood his life here on earth. He willingly entered into Jerusalem on that Palm Sunday to be arrested and to be crucified on that Friday, only to be resurrected on that following Sunday. What a demonstration of God's love for us, amen? Not only for you and for me as individuals, but also as a community. Father in heaven, God, thank you for the demonstration of the love that you have towards us, Lord. You didn't just say you loved us, you demonstrated it. And God, we are grateful for that. And Lord, tonight, Lord, I would pray a blessing upon the council meeting, upon those that are present here today and the families that they represent. God, I pray, Lord God, that they would understand how much you love them. And not only that, God, but how you have commanded us not only to love you, but to love one another as you have loved us. So, Lord, tonight, God, may that ring in our hearts. And, Lord, bless the council meeting. Give them wisdom on the decisions that are to be made for this community. And we thank you once again in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Okay, moving on to the closed session announcements. City
Thank
Attorney?
you, Mayor. The City Council met in closed session regarding the agendized closed session item and took no reportable action.
Thank you, City Attorney. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion was made by Councilmember Noricumbo, second by Councilmember Marquez. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez,
Yes.
Councilmember Tylinda,
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to presentations. Proclamations honoring Ricardo Cayatalut for 8 years of service to the city of Calexico. So let's go ahead and we'll stand up and read this. Honoring Ricardo Cayatalut, thank you, for 8 years of service here in the city of Calexico. Whereas the Calexico City Council believes that it is important that we honor and acknowledge those people who contribute to the citizens of the city of Calexico, and whereas the Calexico City Council here today express its appreciation to Ricardo Cayatalut and honor him for his distinguished 8 years career with the city of Calexico and dedicated service to the residents of Calexico. And whereas Ricardo began his career with the city of Calexico in 2018, where he filled the following position throughout the years of service. 2018 as labor and 2023 as city painter. Whereas after giving the city of Calexico 8 years of dedicated service, Ricardo decided to retire on March 27, 2026 to spend time with his family. And whereas the city of Calexico wishes to honor Ricardo Cayatalut for his dedication and distinguished service to the citizens of the great city and commemorate his many years of service. Now, therefore, be resolved that the city council of the city of Calexico wishes to express its sincere appreciations to Ricardo Cayatalut for his loyalty to the city of Calexico and wish him much happiness as he begins his exciting new chapter in life. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the city of Calexico on this 18th day of March 2026. Congratulations. Come on up. Like to say a few words?
Yeah, real quick. Thank you very much, all council members. Public Works Department, Mr. Villegas, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having to work for the city of Calexico, and I'm very happy that I was able to put something back, a little bit of what I put back into the city that's given me and my family a whole lot more. I'm very proud of being able to be part of that team. Thank you very much.
All of you, a little bit over there. There you go.
All right, going on to our second presentation. It is the proclamation declaring the month of April 2026 as Autism Acceptance Month and April 2, 2026 as World Autism Acceptance Day. So here's the proclamation. Whereas autism is a result of a neurological disorder that affects the functioning of the human brain and can affect anyone regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, or social economic background, and whereas symptoms and characteristics of autism may present themselves in a variety of combination and can result in significant lifelong challenges to an individual's ability to learn in typical ways, develop healthy interactive behaviors, and communicate through verbal as well as nonverbal methods. And whereas the autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a reality that affects millions of families every day and more children than ever as being diagnosed, resulting in the rate as high as 1 in 31 children nationally, with more than 3 times greater prevalence among boys than girls, equating the approximately 1 in 20 boys and 1 in 70 girls, according to the Centers of Disease and Control. And
whereas in April, we recognize those with autism achieving and breaking down barriers and recommit to to helping those on the autism spectrum reach their full potential. And whereas positive outcome increase for individuals with autism when training is provided for professionals across the systems, including those in education, healthcare, justice, and emergency response setting. And
whereas children and adults with autism are our family members, friends, neighbors, and coworkers, and each individual with autism is unique with talents and qualities such as exceptional focus and dedication, and some of the most brilliant minds in the world have included those with autism. And whereas due to the ever-rising rates of autism, now essentially everyone in the United States knows or is touched by someone on the autism spectrum, and the resilience of families and individuals with autism is strengthened through awareness, acceptance, and support. And
Whereas the City of Calexico, California proudly supports the annual observance of Autism Acceptance Month and World Autism Acceptance Day in the hope that it will lead to a better understanding of the autism spectrum disorder, celebrating the work of advocates, educators, professionals, and family members, and all who work to build a brighter tomorrow alongside those with autism. Now therefore, be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Calexico does hereby proclaim April 2026 as Autism Acceptance Month and April 2nd, 2026 as World Autism Acceptance Day in the City of Calexico to raise public awareness, acceptance, and inclusion of those with autism, as well as to increase knowledge of the programs that have been and are being developed to support individuals with autism and their families.
In witness whereof, I have hereunto affixed my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 18th day of March 2026. Do you have a representative?
Gloria always likes me to speak first. Good afternoon. My name is James Gonzalez. I'm president of Autism Support of Imperial County. First of all, I'd like to thank you for honoring Autism Awareness Month and Autism Awareness Day. It is a great honor that you do so. I'd like to Autism Support of Imperial County is a local parent support group. We provide information, education, and we help guide parents to services for their children. We also are now diagnosing children with autism through our mobile unit. This is something that we've added on as a service to our county. It's something that is underserved and well needed. And what we found out during this process is that there is basically 0 children that speak Spanish receiving autism diagnosis in the nation, let alone in the Imperial County where it's prevalent. So we're pretty much the only ones providing evaluations in Spanish in the Imperial County. And this is through help from a grant from Department of Developmental Services, as well as going through San Diego Regional Center for the funding. This is what pays for the program, but our evaluation team and everybody behind it are all 100% volunteers. Nobody's taking a dime for doing this service right now. We are all doing it because we love our community and our county. Having said that, of the 14 evaluations we've conducted in the county, 3 of them have been conducted here in Calexico using facilities provided by or space provided by Intercare here in Calexico. They provided us space to park our mobile unit, and we've been able to diagnose 3 Calexicans with autism during that time. Leading the charge in our team is Dr. Ana Dueñas from University of Washington and Dr. Fernanda Castillon from UC Santa Barbara. They lead our evaluation team, and we're getting it done, and we're hoping to be able to start doing at least 2 a week, getting more than 100 evaluations done every year. And again, right now we're at 14 and still training our evaluation team. Again, these are local professionals that are dedicating their time to get this done as volunteers. Going back to our mobile unit itself, Some of you may have been in touch through your lives with Audrey and George McFadden. They were into the community, and they were beloved members of the community and the autistic community. Our truck and trailer are named after them in remembrance of them. They passed away a few years back, but none of this would be possible without them founding the organization. I'll end with, well, let me tell you a little bit about why I'm here. My son, Santiago, fondly nicknamed Ago, not the traditional Santi, was diagnosed at age 5 with autism. He's now 21, and he is a great artist. But he is my inspiration as to why I dedicate this time to the community. I found this organization. They helped me out a lot. They helped my family out a lot, and I'm here returning the favor. I've been president of the organization since 2009, dedicating my time, as well as all the board members that have helped dedicate their time throughout the years. Again, we're all volunteers. I'll simply close with this. We invite you to come out to our Autism Fair on April 11th at Agar Park in Imperial. It is a great community event. We have a lot of vendors that provide services and information to not only the autistic community, but everybody that has intellectual disabilities, whether it be Down syndrome or any other intellectual disability. Excuse me, I am a little nervous talking to you guys over here. So having said that, that's again on April 11th from 10 to 2 at Agar Park in Imperial. Having said that, thank you very much, and I'll pass it over.
Hello, guys. I'm representative of San Diego Regional Center. I've been working for the Regional Center for the past 4 years, 7 months to be exact, going for 5 years. I'm a dad with a kid with autism. This is my passion. One of the things I could tell you guys that I'm really proud is that Calexico is opening more services with social rec, which I was surprised, right? You got the social rec here in Calexico, open up a lot of art activities for kids. I'm really proud of that because a lot of parents have to travel to El Centro. A lot of parents have to travel to Imperial or Brawley for these social recreations. Now that Calexico is opened up, I know Dr. Vo also opened up Explorers, I forgot the name of it, Sensory Explorers that opened up, right? That's opened the world for Calexicans, right? Because a lot of times we also have to travel across the border for therapies, right? But at this point, like I said, the more Calexico keeps on opening up more, the least they have to travel to other places, right? So I'm just really proud when I hear, that you guys, the social rec is opening more services. But at this point, like I said, if you guys don't know what San Diego Regional is, I invite you, go get some donuts. We're in back of Dunkin' Donuts over there, right? And we provide services for kids with autism, intellectual disabilities, cerebral palsy, and another, diagnosis, all right?
Hi, good evening. My name is Gloria Brambila. Thank you so much for honoring our families with this proclamation. Mayor Legaspi, Honorable Council of the City of Calexico, it is an honor to be here tonight. This is the purpose of the proclamation that was established in 2017 for our families to be aware of the services that are out there, because autism can be a very scary diagnosis, and once received, it can feel very lonely. So that is the purpose, so that our families are acknowledged, are honored, and are also supported and included. I've said this before, the mayor's signature is not taken lightly. It's a promise to serve, to support, and to make a difference. When we sign that proclamation, we're honoring, but we're also saying, how can we help make the difference a little bit at a time? Whether it's one family, and I think it's important when we have, I'm all the way from Westmoreland, but I make sure that every single family in Imperial County is acknowledged, and that there is a proclamation set for every single city and the county-wide, because all families matter. Every child, every adult going through these challenges matters, and it's important to have representatives, real people. And you get to learn to know they're from your own cities, and you get to see why they stepped up to the challenge to support. Is not for the faint. If you're going to be in it, there's no tapping out. You're going to be providing services from the heart. It's not a job just to teach or just, a paycheck. If you're going to provide ABA services, you're going to be in there because you really want to make a difference for those families. If you're going to provide volunteer work, you are in it because you want to make a difference, a betterment for that family, with anything in return, with nothing in return expected for those families. And the same with educators. So it is a proclamation as you read it, and it's pretty lengthy, and gosh, I'm glad I made it because you guys read it beautifully. I am so proud of the way you guys shared it across and spoke it so loud and clear for people to understand it. And that's an honor. I appreciate that because you can read it as statistics. They're going up, and it's not meant to be sad, but it's to give you facts of what autism is. It's to highlight the good, what breaks your heart, and all in one. So that is a purpose. I'm glad to hear Dr. Vo is having a clinic out here now. We also have other organizations such as Best Step Forward, the Challengers League, our providers here that come up and represent. So thank you for your time. We value your time, and we appreciate you for taking this on since 2017 and making a difference for our families. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you please step up for Also, we have translation capability for those of you that have not received it. Translate mensajes que lo tenemos abajo ahí, no sé si lo recibieron.
Si alguien con interpretación, simplemente levante su mano y se los puede llevar.
Victor, can you all? You all need to move this way, more, a little bit more. A little bit more that way.
All right. You ready, Eddie? You ready? Okay. Going on to the proclamation declaring March 21st, 2026 as World Down Syndrome Day. Whereas there is an estimate 6 million people with Down syndrome in the world today, and whereas people with Down syndrome deserve fundamental human and civil rights, and yet in many countries, people with Down syndrome still do not afford those rights and privileges. And whereas despite dramatic increase in lifespan and intellectual ability in the U.S., there is still much work to be done regarding the right to equality, inclusions, education, medical care, research, and support for people with Down syndrome in the U.S. and abroad. And
whereas starting with Singapore in 2006, the date 321 has come to represent 3 copies of chromosome 21, hence 321, and has developed into a movement to celebrate and value people with Down syndrome around the world. And whereas Calexico's Gerardo Eri Paez, as well as many other Calexico residents who have Down syndrome, are members of our community, they love to ride their bicycles along the city streets, join community celebrations, and are loved and respected by all in our community.
Whereas Gerardo Eri Paez engages in collaborative community groups and organizations specifically to benefit people and youth with Down syndrome. And whereas through public awareness, Kennedy Gardens Neighborhood Watch, the Calexico Down Syndrome Group, and the City of Calexico and others celebrate the hard work and progress made by parents, self-advocates, medical professionals, researchers, educators, and many nonprofit organizations all over the world, including but certainly not limited to the Global Down Syndrome Foundation headquarters in Denver, Colorado. And
whereas the City of Calexico joins the United Nations and over 191 other countries in celebrating and valuing the lives and equality of people with Down syndrome, and calling on this year's 2026 theme for everyone around the world to stand together against loneliness. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Calexico does hereby proclaim March 21st, 2026 as World Down Syndrome Day in the City of Calexico, California, and invite all citizens and agencies to celebrate World Down Syndrome Day on March 21st, 2026.
In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 18th day of March, 2026.
Honorable Mayor, City Council, staff, and public, my name is Javier Gonzalez. In 2016, Dr. Manuel Yanez and I, we began the Calexico World Down Syndrome Day Committee. Mrs. Estrada, the San Diego Regional, we had a big group. As you remember, every year we did an event for World Down Syndrome Day. Sadly, we kind of died down. If you remember, Eddie has also been named the Chief of Police, the Mayor of Calexico, Honorary Mayor, the Port of Entry Director. We've done a lot throughout the years and a lot of events. I think you all remember. Hopefully next year we can do something. What we're looking for, Eddie, is for him to be named something you all know that he loves, the parades, to be the Grand Marshal. And at this time, I just want to thank you for doing this this proclamation. At least we remember the day 21. What's synonymous with this day is that everybody wears those crazy socks. A crazy sock, what does it mean? Crazy socks, they have a lot of colors, and it means it symbolizes the chromosomes. The chromosomes, that they're little colors, and the 21st is broken into 3. That day, you're encouraged to wear your crazy socks and upload your pictures to the World Down Syndrome Day Facebook page. And I'd like to invite the San Diego Regional people that were involved in our initiation, if they want to say a few words. You were here, but somebody else was here.
Well, here am I again. Really quick, my experience, I could tell you this much. Oh, sorry. I could tell you this much. I got into ABA. That's where I started. Okay, and as Gloria mentioned, Brambila, in the past, you have to love this passion. One of the things that always gonna sound in my mind is the day that I got home and I got scratched. I was spit. I would vomit. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be proud, born, raised here in Calexico, coach here for 13 years, Calexico High School. But my wife told me, do you really want to be a therapist? I was like, I love it. I do. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to do my master's, right? On ABA. So I love it. I enjoy it. But at the same time, with the regional center, I've learned that it's not only ABA, right? It's also the Down syndrome. This is where I've known Eddie for a long time. You know, high school, I graduated 2005. I saw him on the streets, right? Now he goes where I go, cut my hair, right? I see him there, I interact with him. And I could tell you he is the love of Calexico, the love of that barbershop, Emmanuel's barbershop. You know, I fall in love every single time I go in there, you know, for him. There's a reason why I always enjoy myself. I want to distress, have fun with Eddie there, all right? So I'm just proud of everything. Every time I see Eddie on Facebook, he's getting nominated for stuff like that. And I'm just really proud of Eddie and the whole Down syndrome community. So at this point, I'll give the mic to James.
I didn't realize I needed to wear 2 shirts today. I'm actually a board member with San Diego Regional Center, so I do want to honor Andy. I'm actually a former resident of Calexico, and I used to see him ride his bike all over the place. And it is so important that we provide these services. to individuals with intellectual disabilities, especially Down syndrome. And we just want to say thank you thank you for Eddie for all the advocacy that he does all by himself. You know, everybody around town knows him, and it's amazing everything that he's done. Chief, mayor, and so forth. But again, it's such a great honor that you guys are taking these steps. And then I wanted to mention one other thing. We've are collaborating with the Imperial Valley Down Syndrome Association, and on April 2nd, we're gonna host a movie in Imperial at the Movies Imperial for Mario Brothers 2. And we're going to team up, and with what we do with that night is both children with autism and individuals with Down syndrome. We're all going to get together and watch the movie. So we've rented 5 movie theaters there in Imperial for about 500 people, and they'll get a chance to register for the event. So hopefully, Eddie, you'll get a chance to register and go over there and watch Super Mario Brothers with us. It'll be a great evening. It's something as the autism group that we've done for decades, and I've reached out to the Imperial Valley Down Syndrome Association to collaborate with them on that event. It's something that we need to team up and do, because it's not just autism, it's anybody with an intellectual disability. So congratulations, Eddie.
And today's my first night meeting Eddie, but not knowing him, I can see the love. They are the most beautiful, pure human beings that anyone can meet. That's all, they display love, and in the most purest form. So anyone out there, be gentle and be fortunate if you got a chance to meet Eddie like I did tonight. Thank you, Eddie. Congratulations.
Mayor, can Eddie speak on the top? No, over there. He wants to speak over there. ¿Quieres hablar allá, Eddie? Okay. Allá, ve por allá. Okay, you guys can join him for a picture. If you can see, Eddie's wearing a badge. That is an official badge given by the city of Calexico, okay? The chief of police, Rigi Gomez, gave him the badge when they made him an honorary mayor. He's 65 years old, okay?
Una persona. Hello? Yeah. Todas es aquí, mujeres. Ahora, en persona, toda gente aquí, no estoy mal. ¿Ok? Gracias. 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 Ok.
I just want to say a few things. I've known Eddie for many years. He's gone right along to the police department. We've taken him to a lot of places. He's an instrument. I consider him a friend of the city, and he's good people. So thank you, Eddie, for being part of all of our lives.
So just one last thing, their life expectancy is usually 32 years, Eddie is 65. And they say because of his involvement in the community, and we're hoping for next year, if he's still with us, he'll be our Grand Marshal for the parade. Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move on to public comments.
This is the time for the public to address the city council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The city clerk will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. Group commentators may be requested to limit their group comments to 15 minutes. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included in the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. The mayor and city council reserve the right to adjust this time limit based on the number of speakers who wish to address the mayor and city council.
Non-agenda items will be limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. If additional time is required for the public comments, they'll be heard towards the end of the meeting after discussion and potential action items. Right now, it is 7:09 p.m. The comments will be paused at 7:40 p.m. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. First speaker is Carmen Estrada.
Buenas tardes. Esta ocasión vengo pues a dar gracias a usted, señor Villega, primeramente, porque la verdad yo ahorita estoy cumpliendo 3 décadas aquí en Calexico. 3 décadas, estamos hablando de 30 años. Va a ser exageradamente lo que voy a decir, pero es verídico. En esos 30 años que yo tengo aquí, tengo lo que no se hizo en 30 años, se ha hecho en 3 meses. Se los puedo comprobar. Estoy muy emocionada porque ya no pongo sprinkles. Mis manitas ya están agotadas. Gracias. Luis López, he hablado 2 veces con él. Excelente. Anda solo haciendo su trabajo. Y luego, Hugo, no, es algo, por favor, tienen un excelente equipo en Public Board. Y lo digo yo, que ya no vengo a llorar, vengo a reír, a sonreír del trabajo que está haciendo señor Villegas, la verdad. Y créame, lo estoy haciendo público, porque aquí la señorita, si me ve, tú, mija, tú sabes lo que yo he sufrido aquí. Hay veces no me apego a ti, porque sabes las injusticias que he vivido yo aquí. Son injusticias, son crueldades las que he pasado. No puedo decir, pero ustedes saben lo que he sufrido, que no tenemos, hasta ahorita no hemos tenido un campo. Calexico Parents Athletic ha hecho campos, desagües, hemos sembrado, hemos fertilizado, hemos metido un montón de dinero, ahí me llevan los campos. Y ahorita estoy emocionada, estamos emocionadas, la verdad. Excelente, excelente trabajo. Pero ahorita hay algo, nos vamos a la ciudad del centro, a jugar los niños de high school porque no tenemos un campo. Y gracias a la ciudad del centro que nos está prestando un campo, 5 campos. Me da tristeza y a la vez gusto que nos están abriendo los campos en el centro. Por favor, pongan la luz en las casitas. Se cayó el poste, no lo han puesto, las luces no sirven. Y ojalá lo hagan rápido, porque son $10,000 nada más los que se necesitan. Si no se puede la ciudad de Calexico poner esas luces, nos vamos a dar la tarea de ir a compañías a pedir esos $10,000, que nos den $500 cada quien, no en dinero, en un foco. El foco cuesta $454, necesitamos 20. Es muy poquito para el dinero que se ha aprobado para los campos de soccer que no hemos tenido. Por favor, háganlo. Y le vengo a aplaudir, porque es verdadero. ¿Verdad, mija? Que tú sabes lo que estoy diciendo. Vayan a ver los campos, ahorita estoy solo, los campos están llenos. Vamos a premiar a las 8 de la noche. Si nos gustan acompañar, ahí los esperamos. Con permiso. Y gracias porque ya estoy muy contenta. Y no digo nombres. ¿Quién ha ayudado? Porque las personas que ayudan no quieren que diga sus nombres, pero por represalias. Pero aquí estamos. Gracias. Bye.
Juan Morán.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council members, staff, and members of the public. I'm Juan Moran from Vega Street. My purpose this evening is to emphasize forward planning and ensure we are prepared for the conditions that forecasts indicate may approach. Major national forecasters, including the Weather Channel, are warning that we may be heading for a rare El Super Niño later this summer, with the potential for more intense and more frequent storms across Southern California. For Calexico, the implications are serious. Our city is flat, low-lying, and dependent on drainage systems that can quickly become overwhelmed during prolonged, repeated, or even moderate rainfall. A Super El Niño brings a higher likelihood of heavier winter storms, extended rainfall, and additional stress on our stormwater infrastructure, conditions we must plan for now if we want to mitigate their impact. I also want to take a moment to commend our Public Works Department. When issues arise, they consistently respond and support residents with the resources available. Their dedication is clear. At the same time, the forecast ahead means that this is the moment for Public Works and our first responders to begin proactive preparation and structured planning so we can mitigate risks before the first major storm arrives. Preparedness is not just about sandbags or emergency response. It is about clear workflows, predictable communication, and coordinated planning across departments. Police, fire, EMS, and Public Works should be working from the same playbook with shared expectations and established communication channels. Staff should have the tools and cross-departmental support needed to respond efficiently and safely, and Council should have the visibility into what resources or policy direction may be necessary to ensure readiness for a potentially historic weather season. Residents should know where to report flooding and how the city will provide updates during storm events, all of which are essential mitigation steps. But to achieve that, our communication channels must be more than a single post on Facebook. Residents need consistent, structured, and accessible updates across multiple platforms so information reaches everyone. A Super El Niño is a reminder that weather patterns can shift from year to year, and our systems must be ready to adapt for those changing conditions. When residents see that the city is organized and ready, trust grows. When staff and first responders have clarity and support, their work becomes more effective. And when Council has accurate information, it can lead with intention rather than reaction. I encourage the city to review and update its storm response protocols, public communication systems, and long-term infrastructure planning so that Calexico can mitigate impacts before, during, and after major weather events. Thank you for your time and your commitment to keeping our community safe. Thank you.
June Kim.
Good evening, council members, city employees, and citizens. And I really pleasure to hearing the presentation by Mr. Moran's, all the details. As city of Calexico, all the valley, from now on, next several years, we're going to have big chaos on the weathers. And I was knocking the door. Some Lincoln areas, they have a lot of cracked what's it called, the sidewalks. And they're saying it's about 2 times they've been fixed the sidewalk, and they're not fixed his house. So probably this time we have some item coming back there. We should have everybody has fair repairs on the sidewalk. Imagine last meeting you guys didn't approve taking care of by the citizens, house owners. It was going to be big chaos. And that time, excuse me. That time, our leaders, council members, and the city manager and city staff, somebody who's responsible. There is nobody taking a responsible that item that was placed it. By the law, mayor supposed to be submitting the agenda. When I was mayor, we taking care of every single items. We're gonna be there. We pre-run. And you 5 city council members didn't know it was there. Why there? And there is what happened here. So do we gonna have what's absentee? We're gonna have another election, special election to be elected lawyer? Elected the mayor? I always saying we have too much chief, less Indian. But when they come to responsible, that's all Indian. There is no chief. I don't know where's the chief. Who's responsible for this? Don't be ashamed with you guys. Do whatever needs to do it. And for the community, you owe the community to make the better quality of the life here. And I always looking for or talking you guys about negative things, but today I had the chance. Some of the person who using their position and their power, they try to blocking me my campaigning. I'm glad police chief Orozco's were taking care of it.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.
Fausto Valenzuela.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi visita hoy es para comentarios sobre el tráfico, sobre la desviación que nos hacen cuando se viene de México a doctores o X razón, que nos clausuren la calle César Chávez y nos manden al Imperial cuando somos habitantes del área del parque de nosotros. Batallar para que nos dejen entrar otra vez para nuestra área. Ahorita hay muy poco tráfico, pero cuando está súper lleno, entonces es difícil. Teniendo personal de tráfico, ¿verdad?, que dirige, y se supone que cuando están saliendo para México por el César Chávez, tú debes de tener acceso para entrar a César Chávez, a Calexico. Y no, nos mandan al Imperial para que rodeemos y podamos llegar a nuestra casa. Ahorita hay poco tráfico, me dice, pero hay días que en verdad se batalla. Y yo digo que no es justo, teniendo la gente ahí que te está dirigiendo el tráfico, ¿por qué no hacerlo? Pues si vienes de Calexico para México, César Chávez, bueno, todos están saliendo, entonces que entren. por César Chávez las personas que vamos a entrar para Calexico y no nos manden al Imperial. Esa es una de las cosas que estoy tratando. Poquito nada más y otra observación. Ahora que nos arreglaron toda la calle y pintaron lo que es el Bridge o el 98, como le llamamos, si usted viene por la Dagwood y entra a la Navarro, hay un alto específico ahí, entonces ahí también hay un área bastante amplia, como para que las personas que vamos para Navarro podamos doblar a la derecha, pero nomás que nos pintaron la línea blanca, pues sabemos que no se puede pasar. Entonces tienes que esperarte a que, si hay mucha cola, tienes que esperarte hasta que te toque tu turno, ¿no? Siendo que ahí tienes el espacio para poder hacer una salidita ahí para que tú, si das vuelta y no interrumpas a los demás. Siempre ¿no? Ahí estás esperando hasta que te toque llegar al alto y poder agarrar a Navarro. Yo creo que también es un punto de observación, ¿verdad? Nomás de quitar la línea blanca y ponerle manchita nomás para que usted pueda usar eso, porque tienes el espacio. ¿Ok? Señor Luis, muchas gracias. No nos abandone. ¿Ok? Vamos bien. Muchas gracias a todos.
Luis Pacheco.
Council members and the city staff. Louis Pacheco, IID Director, Division 4. I'd like to give a little recap of our activities that we've done so far, a little update. We've delivered over 81 million back to customers for summer relief. We reduced summer rates by 25%. We've organized an asset plan. We've evaluated over 178,000 of our assets, and we outlined their conditions and their lifespans. With this, we have formed a strategic plan to focus our actions to replace, modernize our infrastructure to strengthen our water and power reliability for the next 2 years. A roadmap to implement and measure our progress. We are accomplishing this by biannual finance planning to ensure that we have the allocation funds for these projects. We do this every 2 years. One of the projects that we've done, we've improved our S-line, 18 miles we removed 293 poles with metal poles to strengthen our transmission line from California to Arizona, and that's going to help us export and import some electricity. We have a 5-year commitment plan to replace 8,000 power poles to better the reliability in Coachella and the Imperial Valley at the cost of $43.6 million. We've installed a substation in Westmoreland to improve our power abilities and the reliabilities, and that cost was $93 million. We're replacing at our generation station a 55-year-old boiler with a new 113-megawatt boiler to provide better reliability, efficiency, and strengthening our power. The cost is $235 million. 2 weeks ago, we went and we did the expansion at the Calexico Gateway substation. That was a $4.9 million project, and this will provide over 4,000 homes, businesses, and future industries. That's going to provide that much power if we ever grow that way. So that's going to extend and expand that gateway area, and for us, the Calexico section. On the water side, we've conserved over 23% of our water entitlement. Over 800,000 acre-feet have been conserved through our DIP and farm efficiency programs with our farming community. 1 acre is a football field. 1 acre, 1 foot deep is 1 acre of water. So if you consider that 800,000 acre-feet of water we have saved, our farmers have. We're planning to add reservoirs on our projects. We've got 3 of them lined up at the cost of $30 million, $6.3 million, and a big one. If we ever get that designed, it'll be $100 million, and those reservoirs help protect the water that we are using. In our customer support, we've added $10 million for our public programs. We have 5 million added to our payment assistance program. We've added 5 million to the energy assistance program. In our reading programs, in our Ready program, we have given back 6.2 million in payment assistance. And in the CARE program, we've given 2.1 million to assist customers to avoid disconnection.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco.
I just had one more, but let Miss Estrada know that we can replace lights if the lights are there with new LED lights, as long as the old ones aren't working. And Mr. Villegas, we're working with that, but that wasn't mentioned.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna bring that up on my comment.
Thank you.
We received a public comment via email from Mr. Juan Moran, and you all have a copy, and we have no more public comments.
Okay, so moving on to city manager's report.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I'd like our fire chief to give us an update on the happenings at Walmart today, and police chief might follow up as well. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Just a quick update. We did have an exterior fire today located on the northwest corner of Walmart, which was kind of the area where they compressed their cardboard boxes. It's second or third fire that we've had in that location, so we would have some follow-up discussions with Walmart on upkeeping that area. But we did have an exterior fire. We unfortunately ended up closing the business for at least 5 hours and removed all customers and Walmart employees just because of the significance of the damage outside. There was no damage to the inside of the building. There was some light smoke in the back freezer area, which we used some ventilation fans to clear. But I want to give a huge thank you, and I couldn't be thankful enough because we would probably still be out there, is Public Works Department and Mr. Villegas and his staff, and Luis and Mr. Saldaña and Mr. Alvarado for even raising the pressure in that area of Walmart because there was so much water being pushed to extinguish this fire. We couldn't have done that without your help, and thank you so much. Also, big shout out to Calexico PD for doing their due diligence and reviewing the tapes with Walmart staff, and eventually, I think, placing someone in custody. And that's awesome work within the time frame that they had, and already having someone in custody. But we were able to reopen Walmart. Hopefully it won't affect the revenues for those 5 hours. But we did open Walmart up around 3 p.m. We did have a discussion. Mr. Martinez was there as well. Again, a big shout out to traffic controllers for closing the area and having Ms. Minor out there helping us, and also the city of Holtville came out, and Chief Silva and his staff were out there helping us with their ladder truck as well. But Walmart is back up and running.
Yes, Mayor. So I'm happy to report that, yes, we do have a subject in custody. I'd like to thank my staff for the hard work that they do every day with the amount of staffing they do. Again, they're miracle workers, like I've always said. They were able to do some good old-fashioned law enforcement and investigation, and were able to detain, and he was positively identified as the subject that started the fire. So he will continue on in the criminal justice system and have his day in court. Again, this is one of those situations where everybody pulled together, everybody did their job right, and we minimized damage. And you should all feel very proud of your city workers for just how they work today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Moving on to commissioners' reports.
Honorary Mayor, City Council, staff, members of the public, Javier Gonzalez, Chairman of the Calexico Police Commission, Advisory Commission. I want to congratulate the chief and the city and the council. I don't know if you read the report from Adelante Valle, Imperial Valley Press, journalist Arturo Bojorquez. Calexico was considered the 6th safest city in California, according to one study, one finding. And on behalf of the Police Commission, we did a reorganization of the vice chair. Enrique Alvarado, he's running for office, so he stepped aside, and the commission appointed Alexis Rangel as vice chair. I want to tell you, we're working hard. We're working mostly on traffic issues. We're also going into the public safety, the street lights. We want the chief to work with Public Works. I just had a word with Mr. Villegas, and he's telling me they're looking at him, but they're very busy. And the other thing is April 25, Saturday, April 25, we're going to have our next community cleanup. And this is going to be on celebrating Earth and Arbor Day. We invite you all. We're discussing it on the next agenda, so it should be on your next agenda. And I want to remind you that you guys just received a grant of $250,000. It requires you to do 3 cleanups a year. Our cleanups, which we do for pennies, qualify you. You can use these cleanups as to fulfill those requirements. So we do expect at least to help us with a little bit of the trash bags, the gloves for the volunteers. Last time we had 111 volunteers. This time we expect more. We're planning to work with with other commissions, the Community Services Commission, the bid, because we're focusing on this cleanup. We're focusing on the Business Improvement District. The business, the alleys in the downtown, the alleys along the Imperial Avenues are dirty. We plan to get the kids in there, pick up all the trash, remove graffiti. And the other thing that we're planning for May, the second week of May, was the public safety workshop. Myself and the vice chair, we met with our DA today, and he's not going to be able to do it in May because he has a murder case. So we're pushing it up to June, and at the Women's Improvement Club. The Women's Improvement Club will co-sponsor the event, and along with several of our commissioners that are part of the Women's Improvement Club, they're going to work on the details of the questions and the details of the event. We're planning to have the sheriff, the district attorney, our chief, the school board, and the mayor as our panelists, and we're working at that. You'll be seeing it in your agenda, so you guys can approve them. Other than that, I want to thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Javier. Any other commissioners' reports? No? Okay. So moving on to city council comments and reports of meetings attended. Councilmember Diana Nudukumbu, would you like to say your reports?
Okay, thank you. I want to utilize this time just to bring up some issues the city manager can just take notes. I spoke briefly to the Public Works Director this morning and also sent you an email, but the weeds on the sidewalks that are growing over by Cole Road, pretty much from Bowker all the way to where the railroad is at, they're bushes now, they're not weeds. And also, don't forget, north of Cole Road, there's still a residential area, and it also has a lot of bushes on the sidewalk. Just want to remind you also that we passed the encampment ordinance, the public property, and I'm seeing quite a few of them pop up. So I want to ensure that we're reminded of that, and that I know we have a lot going on, but that we don't forget that, especially with, in the area where the Walmart fire happened today. There's a lot of those popping up, so we need to take care of that. I also wanted to see if you could contact Caltrans and let them know that the traffic light on Ollie Avenue and 98 lasts an extremely long time. I don't know if anybody notices it, but it's on each side, so it causes a lot of traffic jams. A lot of traffic jam in the morning and in the afternoon when people are leaving. And then what one of the gentlemen spoke about, that he is prevented from going when he's coming in from Mexico from using Cesar Chavez. So I know part of the traffic circulation plan is even when you remove the traffic from Imperial Avenue over to Cesar Chavez, it still allows for a northbound lane. So I don't know, maybe we can get a little report in the future on why we're closing down that access to the outlets and to through Cesar Chavez, because the last thing we want to do is prevent shoppers from going to shop in our city. So to close down 2nd Street and block off the outlets for the people coming in from Mexicali, I don't think it's a good idea. Unless maybe you guys can come in and let us know why you're doing that. But, why would we hurt ourselves that way? And then last but not least, I wanted to invite the members of the public that on, it's going to be March 25th at 5:30, the Calexico Unified School District is going to have a meeting. It's more like a town hall meeting to discuss a potential school consolidation on, at the Family Resource Center, which is where the old Aurora High School used to be. So I invite, well, they invite, and I'm just relaying the message to the community to attend this very important meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Nuricumbo. Councilmember Lisa Telanda.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have a couple comments. We have a lot of issues with public drug usage in downtown. So if we can get an update with local and state laws, what's going on with them, so we can not only educate ourselves as a council, but share with the community as to what external factors are affecting enforcement, besides the fact that we need to invest more in our police department. And also, I want to reiterate, make sure you join us on March 25th. We'll be there at the special meeting with the school board. And I want to share that Councilmember Nuricumbo and I have been conducting public outreach efforts via the Facebook Live platform called Tea Time with Lisa and Diana. We share happenings and information with the public. We've been doing it for 3 months and counting about. So it's every Tuesday. We engage with the public in real time. We reach many individuals throughout not only our city but the valley. And the sessions are very productive and transparent. So if you'd like to join us for community outreach efforts, we do it via our Facebook Live, and we'd love to hear from the community. So that's all I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Telanda. Councilmember Marquez.
Good evening. Since our last meeting, I was invited by ICOE. Mr. Castillo invited me to the preschool, and I was there for Read Across America. I had the opportunity to go in and meet the little kiddos and read a book to them. And the goal of this is to promote reading amongst children. We know how important it is for parents to start at a very young age with the kids and start reading to them. It promotes literacy and definitely helps the child and grow. The second thing that I wanted to report on was I was able to attend a meeting with the Community Center collective group with Councilmember Calderon. And this meeting was for us to listen to the concerns of the citizens in regards to services, the installation, and future events that they want to see within the community. Mayor Legaspi, Public Works Director Villegas, the City Manager Martinez, and we were able to meet with IID representatives. And during this meeting, we spoke about the lighting in Nosotros Park, also the lighting in Casitas Park, and the installation of the much-needed pumps in the basins around the city. I also had the opportunity to meet with the Calexico Parents Athletic Association to hear their concerns about the needs in the soccer fields and also in the lighting that they were requesting. And lastly, we met yesterday with the Mayor Legaspi, City Manager Martinez, to discuss fire and police funding and their department needs. And that's all that I have to report on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Diana Marquez. On my report, Councilmember Diana Marquez, City Manager Ben Martinez, Public Works Director Villegas, and Chief Roscoe, and I met with ID Director Mr. Pacheco for what's in store in our future. There is a grant out there called GLOW, and I believe that Lauda is working on it, and it's replacing all the lights throughout our parks with LED lights. And we are, I know that grant is going to be fulfilled pretty soon, so thank you, Lara, for being on top of it. I know that you're working on it. Also, City Manager Martinez and I met with State Assembly Jeff Gonzalez. He came and paid a surprise visit. He was in Calexico and gave us a call, reference to what he's working on throughout the city, throughout the county. One of them was transportations from Imperial Valley to other parts of California and other subject matters that he wants to bring in. I had the pleasure of Liseth, director for the Camarena Memorial Library, and myself had the pleasure of reading to the Little Trojans preschool kids for Reading Across America through ICOE. Thank you, Michael Castillo, who is here from the school board, and ICOE senior director. Thank you for inviting us. The kids had a great time. Chief Orozco and I spoke to a group of youth about homelessness here at City Hall. It's a presentation that they will be given at SDSU pretty soon. I didn't get the date, but all the information that the chief had provided was very educational, and they learned a lot here. It was an instructor, a teacher, and a group of students. Also, I met with Little League President Jose Carrillo regarding an upcoming baseball binational league with 14 teams participating from Imperial County and Baja California. The starting date, I believe, is on April the 7th. Flyers will be distributed. So we're going to have both teams from Mexicali and other parts of Baja California and here to participate in a binational league. This morning, I attended the Sun Community groundbreaking branch that they're opening up here on Cole Road. I attended the Women's Art event festivity that was hosted by Parks and Recreation. Director Norma Gerardo did an outstanding job. I got to meet an author there, Jazz Ledbetter, who showed me her book, The Harlot Hearts. So she was exciting to talk to. I also like to announce the Easter egg hunt from the Parks and Recreation on March the 28th from 9 to 12 at Crummett Park. Free entrance, and there's going to be 11,000 eggs out there to look for. Thank you, Norma. And that's all I have to report. Moving on to consent agenda. Call for public comments?
No comments.
No comments? Do I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion to approve by Councilmember Nuducumpa, second by Councilmember Marquez. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to discussion and potential action item to authorize the city manager to enter with FM3 Research to conduct public opinion research for the city of Calexico. Call for staff report, and it's going to be by phone? Or staff report first, right?
We'll start with city manager.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and City Council. This item is related to discussion from previous council meetings regarding sales tax measure. And we had a meeting with Dr. Richard Bernard of FM3 Research. He is an expert in public opinion research. We do have him, and if we can prepare him to be able to speak on the microphone. Is that ready, City Clerk? So while she's preparing for that, this gentleman's firm was recommended by our legal counsel, Jim, what's his name? Jim Priest, Mr. Jim Priest. And so we met with him several times to develop this scope of work. However, this scope of work is just one example. It could, per the council's direction, we can take it in different directions, depending on the council's desire to conduct public opinion research. I just wanted to make it clear that tonight we're not talking about putting an item on the ballot. We're talking about conducting, directing staff to potentially work with this consultant to conduct public research, which could lead then to a future decision to put a sales tax measure on the ballot. I wanted to, if Mr. Bernard is available on the phone now? Okay.
Ready,
I
go
would
ahead.
like to have him give a brief introduction of himself and also his proposal, and then we would invite council input and direction.
Go ahead.
Is there a question asked to me?
Was there a question asked?
Introduction.
No, just an introduction.
Oh, all right. Right now?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. All right. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to at least be with you through audio. I've written a cost and scope for your consideration, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have in terms of what you would like in terms of a survey if you choose as a majority to move forward or not.
Can you give us a synopsis of the?
And Dr. Bernard, can you give us just a brief update, a brief description of your proposal and how it can be amended if as desired by the City Council?
Sure. Well, I'm proposing to conduct a 15-minute survey that would be done online and by telephone. It would be with a random sample of up to 300 City of Calexico registered voters who are likely to vote in the November 2028 general election. But with that in mind, I would be able to look at a very large subset of folks who would be interested in voting in a November 2026 election. So we'll be able to look at two potential elections. And my understanding is that there are a number of ballot initiatives that the council may be interested in examining the level of support by your likely voters. And so depending on your preferred ballot question, I could test, for example, a dedicated public safety measure, and then at the end of the survey, ask a question about a general purpose measure, either the renewal of your current Measure H, which I understand expires in 2030, or a new half-cent general purpose measure if the council desires. And so the results will provide you in that scenario an opportunity to see if there is a interest in doing a dedicated measure, which you will know requires a 2/3 plus one supermajority in order to pass, or whether your voters would prefer to do a general purpose measure, which would go to the general fund and would be at the discretion of your council as to how the money would be spent. Happy to answer any questions if I haven't gotten to any, if there are any council member or the mayor's concerns that I haven't addressed, I'd be happy to address them specifically.
So do we have any comments from our councils? Starting with Councilmember Noguera?
Not for the gentleman, no.
No. Any questions? No questions? All right. So we're going to go ahead and move to public comments?
No public comments.
No public comments? Okay.
I'll submit my step right now. Can I go up and then submit it?
Sure.
Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Argel, Vice President, CPOA. Mr. Renard, quick question to you. Tell me what the benefits are over getting public input in regards to doing your telephonic survey. Why is it better to go with you than for us to do our in-house workshops and get a direct contact of what our residents want? Wouldn't you think they would feel more comfortable with us talking to them than a perfect stranger?
Mayor, the comments have to be to the council. He can't ask questions of the presenter.
No worries. Mr. Legaspi, can you answer that as the mayor?
can't answer comments made by public. We can discuss this right now.
City manager? Can he answer?
No, so this isn't a question and answer portion of the meeting.
Okay,
You can have
so
a-
that is my concern here. From what Mr. Renard said is he talked about Measure H. From what I understand and from what I recall, looking over the minutes, direction was not given to look into Measure H. Why are we looking into Measure H? Direction was given by all 5 members of council to look into the special tax initiative. So why are we going out of our means to do something else? So this says on there, and I want you guys to understand and tell this to the public, and if you guys can address it in Spanish, it would be a lot better. This is cost up to $30,000, correct? Well, you guys can't answer, but that's what I read. So as a CPOA representative, I'm thinking about my members here. You guys have not gone to the table with us to give us a fair negotiation output. So, not getting off task, what I'm trying to say is you're willing to spend $30,000 on something that's not going to guarantee anything to us over an outside agency where I can do the survey myself. I'm bilingual. I can do that. Is this company going to give us that? Have we put all the stakeholders into this? Have you talked to the chief of police, the chief of fire chief? What are their recommendations? Yes, we're going to open this up for everybody to speak, but it just seems to me like we're jumping the ball here. I have not, obviously at the POA I have some sort of say, but nobody has reached out to me from the city manager's office to inquire about this. I think getting the associations, our board, would be the first thing, Mr. Mayor, and then going out. Because who's going to do the legwork? You're not going to do it. We're going to do it. We want this to go through. We want to get better equipment. We want to get more bodies. We want to combat the drug problem downtown. But we can only do that if our fire guys are with us at the same time, because it's a team effort. There is no police without fire. That's what I think. Mr. Contreras said it perfectly well. He gave us a shout out. Why? Because we do things that they need us to do, and they come in handy when we need them out there. So just think about this. Why are we wasting $30,000 on something that we can do ourselves? Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. Going on to council discussion, Councilmember Ndrukumba.
Yes, thank you. So when I saw this agenda item, I don't remember the council giving direction to ask for a survey. I remember the council giving direction to work on the measure. And what I was expecting to see initially was a proposal. You know, what are the financial projections? How much are we expecting to bring into the city? What is the proposed use? What is the fire department and the police department expecting to do with this funding? What is the length? Because in order for us to be hiring a survey company and start calling them and saying, hey, are you okay with increasing your sales tax? Of course not. Everybody's gonna say no. You know, you hear the word tax and you wanna hang up. So you need me looking at it in a business perspective. We don't have a product to sell. We need to have the product first. So what are we gonna try to, tell the people? The people in the end are gonna have the ultimate say, but we need to tell them what this is for. And if they decide they want it, then good. And if they decide they don't, then that's what the decision was. But what I was expecting to see was what I just said. What is the product? What are we trying to achieve with this measure? Because it's not about imposing more tax on people. It's about achieving our objective to have, the staff that we need at the police department, the infrastructure, the equipment, and the same goes for our fire department. So to me, this is a waste of time. It's a waste of money. What we ask for can be done in-house, and if anything, that money would be better placed in a financial consultant that can get us this information faster, and so that we know what we give the information to the public that they need, because that's the first step in my point of view.
Thank you. Councilmember Talenda?
Yeah, so, I'm gonna go back a little, and what we approved back in February here, it seems like we're jumping around how a ballot measure gets formulated. So you need a legal analysis, ordinance preparation, you need fiscal impact, revenue projections, and then comes the public outreach and education planning. We don't have even a proposed ordinance or a draft one for this proposed measure. And in terms of outreach, the process for public outreach is about building trust and reducing fear. And you really don't get that factor from phone calls and online surveys. I'm all about public outreach, but for me, my vision of public outreach efforts are to be done by familiar faces. And we have people who are here willing to do it for free because it benefits the community. We have advocates that are willing to put their time and effort into doing these types of processes. Also, I don't agree that we do them by a third party that's, it's stated here, almost $30,000, $29,000 and change. But I do have a question. Did this go out to RFP? Was a request for proposals put out?
No, this was the company that was referred to us by legal counsel.
Okay. So it was referred by legal counsel. Okay. Give me a second. So, in my opinion, this is not the best management of our government funding and our time. I know my Calexicans, we like to be gauged in a live setting by familiar faces. And so, also in the agenda item, I'm going to read from it really quick. The priority seems that it is not the actual measure. It says the goals of the survey will be to assess City of Calexico residents' satisfaction with city services and policies, identify community needs and priorities, as well as test the viability of a potential revenue measure. So that's like the last thing this effort's looking for. And let me state on the record that the baseline survey is to be a random sample of up to 300 City of Calexico registered voters out of approximately almost 16,000 registered voters. That's a lot of money to just try and get up to 300 residents to answer the phone or answer a survey. I personally, if I see like those spam callers, either you have your phone set up where it blocks it or you're not even looking at the survey coming in through your emails. So that's a lot of money to try to get potentially 300 people to answer the phone or answer an online survey. I actually don't even think that's a good enough sample size for almost 16,000. If when they make you do a recall, you have to get half of the voters that voted, how are we only doing up to 300 people for a sample size of this sort? Anyways, I also don't think that it, as for a priority to me as a council member, I can tell you right now that if I'm not satisfied with what's going on at the city, most of the residents are not either. And we haven't even had our own priorities workshop as a council to set visions, and that's where the community can come out and also tell us their priorities as well. And we can have countless of those. I don't agree with this, so that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Talinda. Councilmember Marquez?
I do have a question for the city manager. What is the timeline to develop this measure? How did we go about deciding that this is the first thing we needed to do?
Yeah, I could have Mr. Bernard answer that question. He does this for a living. Mr. Bernard?
Yeah, I apologize. It's hard for me to hear. I don't know if I'm just on someone's speakerphone. I think the question was, what is the timeline? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, we can meet with key folks that you identify within the city early next week and start a kickoff meeting where we can discuss major issues and what the vision of the council is in terms of what they might want to use the money for and what's needed. And within a week, we can draft a survey for review. And then we would want to program it and translate it into Spanish for both online and on the phone. And then, so I would say between 5 and 6 weeks, everything can be done. And I'm looking at your voter counts just so that everyone's clear. There are 22,862 registered voters in the city of Calexico. And if we look at a likely November 2028 electorate based on past voter history, or if they've recently registered to vote, we're looking at a little less than 16,000. And if we look at a likely November 2026 electorate based on their past voter history, or if they've recently registered to vote, there is 12,362. If there were 60,000 registered voters who were likely to vote in a November 2028 election or 2026 election, I 100% agree with the council member. I would be able to offer a larger sample size, but I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I believe, based on my experience, that we can get up to about 300 with a sample size, a universe of the number of residents who are registered to vote and likely to vote in your city. I hope that helps with information as well.
Well, that was great information, but that wasn't my question. My question was, what are the steps that we're supposed to be taking? I know that, for instance, Chief Orozco, we did speak to Brawley in regards to guidance on how we were supposed to deal with this. And so I wanted to know, what is like the first step that we need to be taking in order to...
If I understand you, and I apologize because it is hard to hear, though you're being very clear, but it's hard with the phone. If I understand, your first question is, what is the first step? Is that your question?
Yes, is there like a...
Okay. The first step is getting together with a collection of folks that you identify. Either could be 2 council members. Obviously, we can't have all 5 because we need to be responsive to the Brown Act. But collect both, having maybe an ad hoc committee, as well as I would encourage the city manager, perhaps the 2 representatives from public safety, as well as public works and other departments, getting into a room where we can do a debrief in terms of priorities of the city and how you might envision the money could be used. And while I have the opportunity in terms of the presentation of what would be with respect to the questions, the focus will be on identifying the viability of a measure. But it's not just done by asking, would you vote yes or no? We also have to attest what people's priorities are to be able to give direction to the city as to what we would recommend based on your voter priorities should be mentioned in the 75-word ballot and title summary, as well as test some educational statements to determine what reasons people would vote for something and what they would why they may vote against it. And with that information, it will provide the city with a roadmap in terms of being able to do public outreach, because there'll be a greater understanding of the priorities of likely voters, and we would get that from a random sample. I appreciate that other folks said, well, you can do it. You could certainly do it, but it's a statistical precision that you want. If you have a biased group of folks who just want to answer the survey, and of course you want to hear from everyone, that's fine. But the method that I'm proposing, and you should know, we've been doing this since 1981. I've been doing this for 23 and a half years, including in Imperial County. I was involved in the renewal of your sales tax for transportation in 2008. And I've recently worked with the county and the city of El Centro, among others. And so we do a random sample because that is the way you can get an unbiased observation of likely voters. I hope that answers many questions, but I'm here to continue to answer any questions that may arise.
Councilmember, I could answer your question. I think your question regards to the step of qualifying a ballot measure onto the November election.
Correct.
So the first thing would be that the city council would call for an election via resolution, and then you would propose the ballot measure language, and then after that, you would assign a letter to it, and then after that, there would be an argument for and against the measure. There would be an impartial analysis from the city attorney's office, and then all of these steps would have to be taken before, I believe the deadline for the November election is sometime in August. So all of those steps would have to take place before August. I don't want to give you a firm date in August, but of course, through the city attorney's office, we would make sure that all of those steps are taken before the deadline. So you're looking at, it's March, so April, May, June, July to get all these steps in order to qualify the ballot onto the November election.
So I just want to make sure that we're not jumping the gun and going straight into the survey without having everything else in place.
No, I don't want to speak on the policy portion of this, but no, I don't think so.
That was my question.
Thank you. I mean, obviously, this is a very important tax initiative that we're trying to promote. And yes, we did talk to the fire chief and the police chief in reference to guidance regarding to this agenda. And it's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I do have faith with our associations, POA and the fire department, the legwork, the phone calls, making contacts and whatnot. And I'm sure that while we're doing this, I know that as public figures, we cannot go out there and tell people how to vote on this. And with the assistance of our city attorney, he will guide us along the way. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
May I add to the discussion?
Yes.
Okay, I also want to point out that part of this request mentions the extension of Measure H. That has never been the proposal, unless it's an option that was brought up later. But within what was the original request, there was no measure of an extension of Measure H. This is specifically for a special tax for police and fire only, nobody else. So we're not looking into extending Measure H because there was a lot of issues with Measure H, and that money was being used, you know, like there was no, like it was the general fund. This is exclusively for a special tax for an issue that we all know is going on. There is a need. The need is evident. I don't think we need to spend $30,000 on a survey. Those of us that live here, those of us that work here, know the need is there. We see complaints every single day about people asking, you know, why aren't these, you know, why are they taking so long to come to my house at a call? Well, because we're 50% understaffed. That's why. So we need to have this proposal. That's what we need to see. Not a survey. I mean, we could do a survey. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea because other cities or other organizations or other measures have done it, but that's not what we asked for. We need this, and a survey is just an extra because we know the need is there. And we have 5 months to do it. So let's not waste any more time, please.
Okay. I'll be calling for a motion.
I motion to not approve.
Second? Call for a second.
A second.
Okay, a motion for non-approval by Councilmember Ndukumba, second by Councilmember Thailenda. Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez,
No.
It's yes.
Councilmember Thailenda,
Yes.
Councilmember Norikumbo.
Yes.
Motion doesn't
Doesn't
pass.
pass.
I'm sorry.
Was it no for not to
The
approve?
motion was not approved, so you were saying yes to my motion, which is to not approve.
So then I would like to take mine back and go yes.
So would I.
So, so in order to reopen it, you can motion to reopen the hearing for this portion of the agenda. If then just vote, if then you would be able to vote again.
Okay, so I can do this right now?
Yes, you can do
Motion to reopen this hearing? Okay,
I second.
okay.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, no, because there needs to be a motion and a second.
Yes.
No, but that's to reopen the hearing. So you've reopened the hearing, so now we need a motion and a second in order for you
Okay,
to
a motion to-
either approve or not approve.
Okay, so do we have a second? Because you motioned to open it, right? Do I have a motion and a second?
Yeah, I second. So it's already open, so I'm gonna repeat my motion.
Yes, you can repeat
So my
your motion.
original motion was I motioned to not approve the survey. And then, do I have a
I
second?
got a second. Yeah, second.
Okay, so
So just to be clear, the motion on the table is to not approve the contract.
on a yes vote. Okay. Roll call,
Okay.
please.
Mayor Legaspi?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda?
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to item number 11. Adopt resolution number 2026 approving an employment agreement with Laura Estrada for appointment as city attorney of the city of Calexico. Call for staff report? Do we need a staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I think the item is self-explanatory. However, Ms. Estrada is here today, present if you have any questions of her. The item is to hire her at a monthly salary of $9,780 for a 3-year term. And it includes the typical benefits for executive management. And this position would report to the city manager. However, is obviously why it's on the agenda today is because it's hired. Their city attorney is appointed and hired by the city council. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any public comments?
No.
Council discussion? Councilmember Noricumbo?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I would just like to share that when we all came in last year, or towards the end of the previous year, we all were looking for ways to save our city money, and one of the items that we had pointed out was that our legal services were very high. We do have a contract with a very large a law firm, and so one of the ways that we were looking to save money was to look for another option that would be more cost effective. One of those options is what we're seeing here today, and I just wanted to share that the process of how this candidate occurred is, to me was the good process, how it should be. The council created an ad hoc. It was composed of Council Member Thailenda and Mayor Pro Tem Calderon. And then they worked together, they did the interviews, and then there was a panel of professionals in the field and other stakeholders that work with city attorneys who highly recommended the candidate. So I just want to say that I feel comfortable with this candidate and that I'm very happy that we can have our own in-house attorney. We have some organizations like the IID, the county, the city of Imperial, they have their own in-house attorney, and then they outsource other law firms for specialized issues. And that happens now, even with our current law firm. There's different specialties and there's different attorneys that take certain issues that the city has to resolve. So that's all I wanted to say about this item. Thank you.
Councilmember Thailenda?
No, this is something that the city has needed for many years. And I'm excited that this item is before us because ever since I even worked here, I thought that a local provider would benefit the city greatly and also help reduce costs so that we can allocate that money to other departments that are in dire need. So I'm excited. So thanks, that's all I have to add.
Councilmember Adriana Marquez?
No comment. Everything has been said now.
The only comment that I have is BB&K is going to be sticking, if approved, BB&K will be sticking around. It's not like we're not going to see Henry anymore. So that's all I have to say. Madam Clerk, roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Motion for approval?
A motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion for approval from Councilmember Thailenda, second from Marquez.
Oh, it was Diana.
Was it Diana? Okay, Diana. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Should we have her say a few words?
Yes.
Laura, come on up. Congratulations.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and everyone. I want to thank you for the trust you have placed in me. Calexico isn't just where I will work, it's where I grew up. I understand the needs of this city, but I also recognize the work that you have done. I want to take this opportunity to thank my family, specifically my mom, dad, and brother, who have been my greatest supporters since the beginning. I promise to represent Calexico with dedication, professionalism, and heart, because this city will always be my home. Thank you.
Thank you. So Laura, you ready for us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Going on to item number 12, adopt resolution number 2026 approving professional service agreement with Mitchell A. Driscoll to provide a needed legal services for the city of Calexico. Do I have any call for staff report?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this item, again, is to bring on an as-needed firm, Mr. Driscoll's firm, which is a local to the Imperial Valley. And if approved, we would sit down with our new city attorney and Mr. Driscoll and talk about, how we are going to all work together. But I have had very good conversations with him. He's anxious to help the city of Calexico, comes with a varied experience for many years, and so I think he will be well suited to assist us during, especially the transition period. So, if there's any other questions, Mr. Driscoll is also here for any questions.
Call for public comments.
None.
Okay. Call for council discussion. Councilmember Noricumbo, please.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I mentioned right now, that it'd be like a collaboration with our new city attorney as needed basis. And I'm happy that they're also local, and I'm sure they're very familiar with, with the city and the issues that it encounters, and will help us, turn the page and guide the city, into progress, which is the end goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Thailenda?
I just want to share that this is part of the transitional process from changing consulting firms and establishing an in-house city attorney. This is a type of team that the council has been working together to formulate so that our city stays legally protected in this transition.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez?
No comment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, BBK has done really such a good job, and, they're going to stick around for a bit, for a while. And now we have a council member, an attorney that'll be at our office Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, or 8 to 10. I'm just kidding. 8 to 5. And I'm excited. So, call for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I will second it. Motion approval by Councilman Notocumbos, a second by me. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Did you want to say a few words? Sure.
Honorable Mayor and council members and staff, my name is Mitch Driscoll. I've been practicing law for over 30 years. 25 of those years have been representing public agencies, including general law cities such as yourself. I've been a city attorney, a special attorney, litigation attorney. You've provided training for city council and their staff, and I look forward to helping the city develop in-house expertise. So thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to item number 13, authorizations to execute a purchase agreement with Red Sky Emergency Vehicles for the acquisitions of one Type 2 XL ambulance for the Calexico Fire Department and adoptions of a budget amendment resolutions allocating the funds. Call for staff report.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Staff is requesting an authorization to execute a purchase agreement with Red Sky Emergency Vehicles for the acquisition of one Type 2 ambulance, which is a cost savings of about 100 and almost half of what we're currently operating with right now, and to adopt a budget amendment resolution to allocate the necessary funds. This purchase is an ongoing part of effort to maintain our reliable emergency medical services within the city. We are currently operating with we have 4 ambulances that are 2 frontline ambulances and 2 reserves. The 2 reserves are in pretty bad shape and have exceeded the recommendation service life and have increased experiencing maintenance and mechanical issues as AC issues. We had a officer transport a gentleman in custody maybe a month ago, and they were one of the backup ambulances with no AC, and it was pretty warm. Even though the heat hasn't hit us yet, and it's supposed to be 100 degrees this week, I think this purchase would help us tremendously and have a viable 3rd ambulance in rotation in service, so we can give our current ambulances a break for the time being.
Thank you, Chief. Call for public comments.
None.
None? Call for council discussion. Councilmember Notocumbos, please.
Yes, I have a question. Do you have any intention of repairing the other ambulances? Is this an addition or a replacement?
So the 2 that we have probably one good one that we can continue to probably service and have the optional 4th ambulance. There's one that just, I think it's on its last leg. But we will be able to put our efforts into that one backup and with this new one and have the 4 ambulances available when needed.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Lisa?
No, I have no questions. Thank you, Juan, for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Councilmember Diana Marquez?
No question.
I have no questions. Call for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Motion approved by Councilmember Notocumbos, second by Thalinda. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Of course, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to discussion of memorandum of understanding of MOU for sports groups. Call for staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, members of the public, and staff. This item was requested by Councilwoman Thalinda. I added not only the MOU, I also included information on how we provide the allocation, the process, the forms they need to fill out. Also for you to know that we are currently working with the commission to bring a handbook policy guidelines that is established and talks about many things that we don't have yet, such as fees and 3-strike systems for people who are not following rules, let's say, so that the city would have the means to either pull parks away that they're not utilizing or not allow them to use it in case they're infringing into the rules that we establish. I don't know if after reading the staff report you have any questions. Yes.
Any questions from our council? No?
I do. So, first of all, thank you. This is awesome. I read through it and I see the maintenance requirements, but I do have some questions in regards to, it says on the document, it's the PDF document, it's page 7, so I don't know if you want to, it's where it says terms and conditions. It's part of one of the request to use city parks application. So, in that one, I just want to ask, it was mentioned the fees haven't been established.
Correct. We currently don't charge anything.
Oh, okay, but here in the request to use city parks, there are fees outlined. So that's gonna not happen until you come back, right?
Correct. So the form that we have here is the current form that we have for the public to rent a park, let's say for a party or Crummett Park for whenever we have the Mariachi Festival. Those are the fees that we have. For the allocations, we don't have an established fee.
Okay, but these fees have been established?
Yes,
Yeah.
the $50 for park rentals and $50 for lights, yes.
And then the 75 for the restroom key?
Correct.
Is that charged though to
No.
No? Okay. So when you bring it back after you go through your commission, you're gonna bring it back as a recommendation?
That would be correct.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're gonna do kind of a like a in-house fee study to tell us what, it's not, I assume these are gonna go up.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
And what we're doing right now, we are gathering also what other cities do have and what they do charge as well to get an idea.
One thing that I didn't see, I did see what they're required to do, but what maybe when you come back around with the recommendation, if we can see like an actual checklist, like where we get some sort of, one of the inspectors from Parks and Rec to actually look at them before they're rented out so that we can make sure that they sign and they're like, right, you got a good park, so.
A checklist of
like-
inspecting
Yes,
the facility before they,
uh-huh.
I see.
Something like that, because I know other cities do it, and so that's one of the things I'd like to also incorporate. 'Cause
Absolutely.
We're sharing them, so everybody has a sense of ownership too.
Right. Good
So
idea.
Next time around, thank you, that's all I had to add.
Questions for Norma? Okay, thank you, Norma.
You're
Good
welcome.
job. Call for public comments?
None.
Call for council, oh, we have one.
Alexis Rangel. So I was under the interpretation that all parks were being charged, even the leagues. I think it's a good idea that you guys get a fee on there because something that I've come across is our city is not very transparent when it comes to how much something's going to cost. We've had an event, our booster club had to get a permit, and the prices were kind of like, oh, well, it might be this or it might be that. So fees are very important. I've been doing some research looking at other cities, and they put it on their city website or on their rec website. So I'm in support of this. I hope you're able to find that information because I had to put in a public records request for some of the information I was asking for. I highly recommend charging because it is a park for everybody, but you have to be able to keep the facilities clean, you have to be able to maintain it, you need to be able to pay for the staff that's going to come in and take care of the facilities. But I still want to say we need our gymnasium for the Calexico Recreation Department. My kids do the basketball, do volleyball, they do open gym, and it would be amazing if we had more times, allocated times that our kids could go in and use those facilities. I really think we need to get into the mindset of stop giving everything for free. We need to start charging a fee. I'm not saying exorbitant fees because I understand that there's some people who can't afford it, but we need to be able to support some of these programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right, going to council discussion, Councilmember Diana Nedukumbu.
Nothing to add, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Lisa Telenda.
On this one?
Yes.
So I hope that we're gonna see this soon, right? The proposal for what fees we're gonna adopt, because there's a formal process to adopting it. Yeah, soon? Yeah, okay. Because I wanna make sure that we have that in check.
Councilmember Adriana Marquez.
And will the fees also consider the classes? Thank you.
Call for a motion for approval or non-approval for what was brought up.
I motion to approve.
Okay. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay. A motion to approve by Lisa Telenda, second by Nedukumbu. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to authorize the city manager or his designee to declare the identified police units as surplus and obsolete, and to authorize the disposal in accordance with applicable laws and city policy. Further approve the donations of 23 surplus vehicles and 3 surplus motorcycles to the Gobierno de Mexicali and the Gabinete de Ayuntamiento de Mexicali. I crucified that name. Consistent with the terms and conditions established by the city. All right. Do I have a staff report?
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I'm working with city admin on this, as well with police department. So staff is requesting the authorization for city manager and his designee to declare the identified police units as surplus and obsolete, and authorize their disposal in accordance with applicable laws and city policy. Additionally, the staff is requesting the approval to donate 23 surplus vehicles and 3 surplus motorcycles to el Gobierno de Mexicali and el Gabinete y Ayuntamiento de Mexicali. Consistent, I was practicing this whole time, consistent with the terms and conditions established by the city. These vehicles have reached the end of their useful service life for frontline operations within the Calexico Police Department. Continued with the use or result increasing maintenance costs and reduced reliability for public safety response. However, as we know, the city of Mexicali will no longer, however no longer suitable for operational standards within the city, these units would still retain a functional operational value for the city of Mexicali. And we're obviously helping our brothers in blue down south. And gentleman, Mr. Delgado, wasn't able to attend today's meeting. He canceled right at around 5 o'clock. But we are recommending staff and to donate these vehicles to the city of Mexicali.
Thank you. Call for public comments?
None.
No? Okay. Council discussion, Councilmember Nedukumbu.
Yes, thank you. I'm all for, recycling these units if they're able to. I know that some areas in Mexicali, like you mentioned, they're not going to use them to, be chased for a car chase, but they do sometimes have neighborhood patrols, and so it's very good that we're helping I don't know if it's a brother or sister in Mexicali. Oh, brothers in blue. And I'm also glad that we're finally going to clean up that lot. So thank you.
Councilmember Talenda?
I really appreciate that the surplus and salvage value was added. That's really interesting. So it puts it into perspective what
That's
we
finances
are
work right there. Thank you, Carla.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I have to add.
Councilmember Marcus?
Well, I really do appreciate the collaboration that you are creating there. In Spanish, hoy por ti, mañana por mí. And that's going to eventually pay off, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Marquez. And I think one of the one of the department heads that's going to be extremely happy, besides the Mexicali Police Authority, is Public Works Director Jesus. You're going to get rid of all of that stuff. And finally, we're going to be able to. It's been there since I've been there. You know, it's just a pile of. I'm not going to call it. I was going to say that, but I'm not going to say that. But you're going to finally be able to see across Cesar Chavez, right? Once that's cleared. So, no, thank you, Fire Chief Contreras, for an outstanding job. Also, Chief of Police for working with our Mexicans brothers in blue. They wear blue? I don't know. Okay. So, thank you very much.
A motion to approve.
Okay.
Second?
Okay, a motion approved by Talenda and second by Nurucumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes, sorry.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to item number 16, sidewalk improvement, Grant Street and Vandegraff Avenue. Federal project number CML-5168, parenthesis 036, close parenthesis. A, authorize city manager to sign amendment number 1 between the City of Calexico and Nicholas Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $19,224.83 for the construction management of geotechnical and inspection services for sidewalk improvement, Grant Street, Calexico Street, and Vandegraff Avenue. Federal project number CML-5168036. And B, adopt budget amendment resolutions for fund number 233-Measure D. Do I have a call for staff report, please?
Yeah, okay. Basically, as you may be aware already, the last three items are related to this project. As we are actually complete, this is a very successful project. It just, this specific item is because the time of construction was extended about 4.5 months more than anticipated. This is because additional work that was completed in a mutual agreement to stop the construction due to DBE goals to be achieved. So anyways, the project is done. The services were perfectly outlined. It's construction management, geotechnical, and inspection services. We are just adding roughly $19,000 for the additional services from Nicholas Construction.
All right. Do public comments? Do we have any public comments?
None.
All right. Council discussion, Councilmember Nurucumbo?
Yes, can you, and I ask because it says it's a federal project, which I'm assuming is funded with federal funds originally. And then, so now we need to adopt a budget amendment resolution for Measure D, which is now coming out of our pocket. So I know this one's for 19,000, but the following one is for 89,000. So could you let us know what it was? I know you said the work was extended for 4.5 months, but can you let us know the reason why it was extended for 4.5 months?
Well, just for your information, that the other change order is a negative change order. It's actually savings.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's a good notice, a good information. And then the question is why was extended the time, or?
Well, yeah, because the other one was a negative one. I remember that.
Yes.
But now this is not negative, right? So
No,
now
no,
we have
no,
to
no,
pay them more?
This is the only one that
Yeah,
is-
so I just, since we have to do a budget amendment resolution to cover that, so now it's coming from city funds and not federal funds, I want to know what the reason is why we're now having to pay this again. Since it was already closed out.
Well, the reason is because the city has a match for the project. So basically, this money is coming out of our pocket. Definitely, and the reason is the additional work in additional time. So the Nicholas was actually providing the services. And
Yeah, but that's what I mean. What was the additional work?
The additional work.
Yeah.
There was a redesign of a sidewalk that, for whatever reason, the slope was pointing into an area that was not actually a good area. So basically, we redirect the stormwater, some additional paving that we got done. Yeah, I mean, miscellaneous.
Does this help, like, with the, I know we had a public comment of a neighbor from over there saying that there was, I guess, during storms right now, when you mentioned the storm drain, is that the area where it would get, where you would have a lot of flooding?
Well, this project is nearby, but the problem for this depression, it was a very, very old design. This project is not going to address anything regarding that.
Okay.
It's just the condition of, we add sidewalks that in areas that were not there, but that specific problem, we are working with the resident, trying to find a solution. That is really complex due to the elevation of that specific properties are really, really low. And so the capacity of the storm drain system was not designed to handle big storms. So basically what we are doing right now, as we speak, is trying to find a way to install additional catch basins to avoid that all the water goes into this low point, because once the water is in the low point, there's no way to handle them because it's way too much. So right now we are going to install additional catch basins, so we were going to be able to capture the water in their way down instead to wait for all the water in the bottom. But that's different. It's a storm drain system. This is just sidewalks that were, some were improved and some other were new sidewalks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Councilmember Talenda?
Yeah, so you have Measure G, but Measure D, that's the LTA, part of the LTA, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And the total match for LTA on this was $700,000 for Measure D?
Well,
Yeah.
this is just
For the match.
professional services. The actual construction.
Oh, yeah, okay,
is in the
sorry.
next item.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Marquez?
No questions.
Okay. And this work has already been done, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, and corrections were made, and thank you for doing that. That's the only comment that I have regarding to this bill. So, call for a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second? Call for a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion was approved by Councilmember Talenda, second by Marcus. Madam Clerk, roll call,
It was
please.
Diana.
Sounds alike. Okay, so
Me.
you did the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion approved by Notokumbo, Councilmember Notokumbo, and second by Marcus? Councilmember Marcus? Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to item number 17, authorized Public Works direct city engineer to sign deductive change order number 4 with Rove Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $89,923.81 for sidewalk improvement, Grant Street, Calexico Street, and Van de Graaff Avenue, federal project number CML-5168036. Call for staff report, please.
Yeah, okay, this is money in our favor.
Okay.
So in a way, we can call it savings, but what really happened, at the end of any project, we do a final quantification, so it's what we call a balancing change order. Sometimes there's additional quantities, but sometimes, like in this case, it's less quantities. We remove some structures that were not needed in actually the numbers that originally were input into the bid process resulted to be less than that. So basically, as a result, we are saving roughly $90,000.
All right, thank you. A call for public comments.
None.
Call for council discussion. Councilmember Tenen Rukumbo.
Nothing, thank you. No comment.
Okay, Councilmember Marquez.
No.
And I have no comment. Call for a motion.
Motion to approve?
Call for a second.
Second.
Okay. Call for motion approved by Councilmember Netukumbo, second by Talenda. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to item number 18, authorize Public Works Director, City Engineering to sign and file notice of completion for sidewalk improvement on Grand Street, Calexico Street, and Vandycraft Avenue, Federal Project number CML-5168036. Call for staff report, please.
Yes, well, but basically the two previous agenda items were basically the last components for this project. It was a really successful project. We were able to, at the end, just increase the total project in 0.4%. So basically, we spent only $2,000 additional. So basically, this project is one of those projects we really like. We were able to balance the quantity, we were able to improve it, and we were able to deliver it on time, in a timely manner. So right now, all we need is your approval so we can file the notice of completion.
All right. Call for public comments.
None.
All right. Call for council discussion. Councilmember Diana Netukumbo.
None.
Councilmember Elisa Talenda.
No, thank you.
Councilmember Marquez.
No comment.
I have no comment. Call for a motion.
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion approved by Councilmember Netukumbo, second by Talenda. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to future agenda items. Councilmember Diana Netukumbo.
I think we don't do that anymore, do we?
It's a 30.
30? Okay, I've got nothing. I'll use this slip if I have anything. Thank you.
Sorry, there was a question about why we're still doing this process. It's just that because it's going to be until the next meeting. You guys approved it at the last meeting, and then this was the second reading, so that it'll be at the next agenda.
Oh, okay. All right. Councilmember Talenda.
No.
Councilmember Marquez.
None.
And I have none. Okay. Call for motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to, who do I have a second? I'll second it. Councilmember Netukumbo, motion adjourn. I second it. Madam Clerk, roll call, please. Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon is absent. Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda.
Yes.
Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Motion is adjourned at 8:49. Thank you all.